Germany wasn't always how it is today. It used to be the German Empire under Prussian rule until the German Revolution of 1918. The ruling nation, Prussia, has a rich history filled with triumph and tragedy. Prussia originated in 1525. It started off as a small duchy that rose from the shadows of Poland and the Holy Roman Empire. It has had its fair share of unique rulers, in particular Frederick Wilhelm II, also known as Frederick William II. This Prussian monarch was heavily influenced by his predecessor, Frederick II, who was commonly known as Frederick the Great. Frederick the Great made Prussia one of the world's superpowers in the mid-18th century. He was thought to be homosexual by historians, as he described his wife as a sour subspecies of the female sex. As a result of his sexuality, he bore no children. After his death in 1786, his nephew Frederick Wilhelm II rose to the throne. The nation was distraught over his death. Although he was one of the best military theorists, he valued the arts. He was enticed by French culture and music. He wrote many books in French and about the French. He started wars with other countries such as Austria. He was a great leader who was loved by the people. Napoleon even paid homage to his grave. His greatest accomplishments were winning the 7-Year War, seizing lands in Austria, and gaining land in Poland with the First Partition of Poland. Succeeding Frederick the Great was his nephew, Frederick William II, who valued the arts over anything else. He turned what was one of the strongest military forces at the time into a misused group of soldiers. He was loved by the people for abolishing harsh taxes, but at a cost. He accrued a large quantity of debt from abolishing taxes and his other actions. He increased pay for the army, which gave him the hearts of the people, but gathered even more debt. His few attempts at future diplomacy failed because of this debt. After the neighboring country named Leopold the King of Austria, relations between the countries started to improve. In the past rule of Frederick the Great, Austria was attacked and lost parts of its land to Prussia, therefore creating tension between the countries. In 1790, Austria and Prussia formed an alliance, but Frederick William II allowed Austria to lead in foreign affairs. William II was interested in Poland for a time, since Poland was weakened by the surrounding countries. After he lost interest in Poland, he turned to the French Revolution that started only 3 years into his reign. This was not his first time attempting to stop a revolution. He had an encounter with a revolution in the Netherlands in 1787. The French Revolution ended up occupying most of his years as king. The remnants of the old military might was used in the French Revolution in a failed attempt to stop the uprising. He also started the first of the coalition wars, but later lost interest, showing his negligence towards political matters. He also handed most of his authority in several areas to his trusted court officials. Since the very beginning, Frederick William II sponsored and influenced a lot of composers of the time. This led to the Romantic era of music. The king was an avid cello player and even had his own royal orchestra. Famous musicians such as Beethoven and Mozart were sponsored by the king. These composers and more dedicated their music to him. Mozart specifically wrote 6 cello quartets for the king and 9 piano sonatas for his daughter. The king encouraged painting and architecture along with music. In the middle of the flourishing arts was Berlin. Berlin can be compared to the Italy of the Renaissance. Without the king sacrificing the wealth of the nation, music and art wouldn't be where it is today. Prussia, although in a weakened state, was still a great nation, where most of the citizens were happy from lax taxes. After his rule, Prussia came into power once more, therefore validating Wilhelm II's national sacrifice. However, his legacy lives on as one of the fathers of the Romantic era of music. This music is still played today by many orchestras around the world. Through the tragedy of a weakened nation came the triumph of music for the rest of time.